Hello, everybody. We are at the very end of season one of my ultra realistic, controlling all 30 teams with the most realistic rosters MLB The Show 26 franchise. It's the second day of the standard edition of the game being out, and this is my reaction to the end of the season. I made a bunch of trades at the deadline that I thought were pretty realistic. I'll tell you all the awards, go over every team, and then look at the playoffs. First, we're going to look at the standings. Starting off with the National League Central, the Chicago Cubs win the division with 92 wins. The Reds are in the playoffs. The Brewers at 82 and 80. The Pirates, a little disappointing with Paul Skeens. And then the Cardinals, 103 losses. Terrible team. And then the Rockies also here with 103 losses. The Dodgers win 113 games. The D-backs barely missed the playoffs. The Padres have a losing record, as do the Giants, comfortably below 500. The Phillies win 97 games. The Braves and Marlins also make the playoffs. The Mets surge back after selling at the deadline to finish with 83 wins. And the Nationals lose over 100 games as well. Moving on to the American League, the Mariners were behind at the deadline behind the Rangers, but they clinched the division by a lot off of an insane second half. The Rangers are here. They get second, and then everyone else in this division was really bad. 91, 92, 93 for the Athletics, Angels, and Astros. The Astros sold a piece or two at the deadline. The Central was really weak in the second half. The Tigers win it with only 85 wins. The Royals tie them, but miss the playoffs entirely. The Twins, surprising at 81 and 81. The Guardians got a lot better. They were played above 500 baseball after the deadline. And then the White Sox were really bad. In the East, the Blue Jays had a fire sale at the deadline. They sold more than anybody and ended up playing a little bit better in the second half. Doesn't matter because all these teams ahead of them were above 500. Three of them made the playoffs. The Red Sox come out on top of the division. We'll take a look at all the teams, starting out with the Cubs. Starting pitcher, you had Shota Imanaga at the top of your... Is there a way to view the stats screen? This is very different than what it used to be. Statistics, player statistics. I actually kind of like it better on the other screen. We're going to go to here. Imanaga, there you see 3.2 ERA, 1.14 whip. Cade Horton, also very good. I believe he might have been an all-star. Horton, a career 3.15 ERA guy, 88 overall. He's not an all-star. Justin Steele is here. Edward Cabrera started 24 games. Okay trade for them. Matt Boyd was very good. He's been an amazing pickup for the Cubs for these past two seasons. Very good player. Striking out a decent amount of guys. Speaking of strikeouts, Cabrera struck out a lot. Jameson Taillon, 83 innings. The dude started 8 games, 3.24 ERA. Good player. Wow, former 21 win player Kyle Wright is here in their minor league system. In the bullpen, you had Dennis Santana, who you got at the deadline, ended the year with 48 saves. What a year for Santana. The FIP wasn't as good as advertised. Gave up a little more home runs than you like. Didn't strike out a lot of people, but he's a free agent. He's going to make a lot of money, and he was a good pickup. Phil Maton really settled in a setup man role. Had an ERA in the 4s as a closer for the Cubs, but then really, really settled into a setup role behind Dennis Santana. Daniel Palencia was good. Shelby Miller was good. Hunter Harvey was good. Porter Hodge was okay. And then Jacob Webb was in the majors for 67 games. And I think this is where the minor leaguers begin. Ben Brown. Caleb Thielbar was also in the majors. Regressed quite a bit at age 39, but he started the year as a 79. Now he's a 69 overall. Catching, Carson Kelly did the catching duties, and a 697 OPS was a little bit disappointing. Still put up 2.5 WAR because he's good defensively. He's a plus there, and he's also got pretty good vision. Miguel Amaya was your backup. Really bad play. Really bad. Not a good year for him. Moises Ballesteros didn't play. Don't know why he's here. Michael Busch, 90 overall. He's up to a 90. Started as an 85, now he's got a straight 99 power against the right side. Career high 36 homers, 98 RBIs. Career highs all across the board. The defense wasn't great, a 4.3 WAR, which is just a smidge behind the 4.4 he had a year ago. Actually, I think we can just go to MLB roster and flip through from there. I'm figuring out how to do this. First base, second base. We run over to second base. Nico Hoerner. Good baseball man. 7 home runs 3 years in a row. He doesn't hit a lot of homers, but he hits for a lot of doubles. 78 RBIs was a career high, probably because the supporting cast was better than it's ever been. Got caught stealing a lot. Plays great defense, a 3-win player. Not bad. Third baseman, Alex Bregman. Breggy played in 110 games, similar injuries to last year, and a similar production rate. Matter of fact, he had a 3.3 WAR, which was his best since 2022 with Houston. Hit 17 homers, walked a little more, drove in a little less than a year ago. Matt Shaw is here, the youngster, 543 OPS. -2 WAR, yikes. You got to think this is some trade bait at some point because he is looking like a big-time bust right now. Dansby Swanson started the year off really hot, ended up hitting 20 bombs. He's actually done that 5 times in his career. 68 RBIs, stealing 18 bases, a 674 OPS, and a 2.7 WAR because he plays good defense over there at short. Ian Happ out in left field, very good season. Good baseball man, 33 home runs. He's hit 20 in each of the last 4 seasons, 5 of the last 6, and then 6 in his time in his career. Career high in OPS, 2.4 WAR. Actually, he is one to win Gold Gloves. He had won 4 in a row before this year when he fell off mightily defensively. You can see the WAR took a hit because his defense went from great to below average. Then you had Pete Crow Armstrong. Did Chas McCormick play in the majors? No, he didn't. Pete Crow Armstrong is here. He was pretty good. 27 homers. A little worse offensively than he was a year ago, but still playing elite defense, a 3.6 WAR. Serviceable Pete Crow Armstrong. We'll see how he fares in the playoffs. Seiya was great. 115 games, suffered some injuries, but he walked a lot more than he ever has. Still hit for a nearly identical production as last year. A 1-win player. George Springer came over at the deadline. I played his first game with the Cubs. He was the biggest trade of the deadline, I'd say. Him and Freddie Peralta getting moved. 41 doubles is a career high for Springer. I didn't think he'd ever hit over 30. Yeah, first time hitting over 30 doubles, he hits 40. 30 bombs, stealing 20 bases at age, 36? Yeah, look at that. Starts the year as a 91, regresses to an 83. But all that aside, the dude was still a very solid player. And by very solid, I mean an MVP candidate. 880 OPS, a 3.3 WAR. Good baseball man here. Great baseball man. Starling Marte is very old. He got signed after spring training, and yeah, just didn't look good. 4th year in a row where he's played just under 100 games. 589 OPS. He's not the speedster he once was. He's not the elite defender he once was. -2 WAR because when he was in the field, he was awful. Genuinely not a great baseball player anymore. Moving on to the Reds. Hunter Greene is a Cy Young level pitcher. 236 strikeouts for crying out loud. 5.1 WAR. 2.83 ERA. What in the world? An all-star appearance from him. Andrew Abbott is here. Abbott, 3.79 ERA. Worse year than a year ago. Pretty comparable to 2 years ago. Just with a better FIP. Yeah. I mean, you'll take this from Abbott. Nick Lodolo, great season. Great year. A second straight really solid season. But even better, a 4-win player with a 2.5 ERA. Chase Burns, the youngster, not great. Struck out a ton of guys, but really a 5 ERA, high WAR, but a low FIP. He has always been a low FIP guy. You look at his career, a 5 ERA, but a 3.1 um, sorry, I lost the stat. The 3.18 FIP from Chase Burns is why he's at that 87 overall. That was among the best in baseball. He strikes out everybody. And then Brady Singer doing this as your number 5 man. Identical stats to last year, pretty much all around. Struck out more guys though. Struck out at a decent rate actually. Good to see that. You had Rhett Lauder coming as your long reliever. He looked much better in his small sample from last year. Then you get to the prospects. Your closer was Emilio Pagan for this year. 54 saves. Hello. How about Emilio Pagan putting up 54 saves? Great season for Pagan. The FIP was high. The strikeouts were way down. That's why that FIP was so high up. Mainly because of those strikeouts going down from 10.5 per 9 to just under 7. He still saved 54 games, though, and gave up sub-10 home runs. Extremely good in 74 outings. On the other side of the bullpen, you had Tony Santillan, a 3 ERA guy, always been a solid reliever, low FIP kind of player. Caleb Ferguson, a 2.63 coming out of the pen for Cincy. Real comeback here for him. He's had some rougher, below-average seasons recently. Connor Phillips was not very good, a 4.9 ERA. I mean, you look at the other intangibles. The FIP was above 5. Pierce Johnson was okay, coming over from Atlanta, 65 outings. Brock Burke was very good, 10-1 record. I know that doesn't matter for pitchers, but a 2.4 ERA, got for a high WAR. Didn't really give up a lot of home runs, which has been a problem for him in the past. Sam Mull was bad. Then you get into the batters for Cincy. Tyler Stevenson, good player, 737 OPS, exactly what he had last year. But he hit this less home runs and over double the at-bats, but was hitting for more contact and playing great defense. A 5.1 win player. Tyler Stevenson with a breakout year. He's always been a good hitting catcher with above-average defense. His biggest struggle has always been to stay on the field, and that's exactly what he did this year. Your backup catcher was Jose Trevino, who was solid, actually. Didn't have to play a lot, but in 30 games, he definitely got the job done. Moving over to the first base position, Nathaniel Lowe. Very standard average first base production. 746 OPS, .2 WAR. Pretty much a non-factor on your team. Spencer Steer played some first and some left field. No awards. Okay, I thought he made an all-star team, but he did not. He didn't deserve one either. Played in almost every game, but a 691 OPS was the worst of his career. .9 WAR. You know, this Reds team was good, but it had its holes. Sal Stewart, a young rookie. Very good A potential, but I mean, not yet. We're not seeing it just yet. He looked really good in 18 games last year. This year, 636 OPS, negative 1.5 WAR. Really showed some flaws over at first base. He's got some positional versatility, though. I want to see him get better. Michael Toglia played in 2 games. You have Matt McLain here. 135 games. The dude missed all of 2024 after what was an excellent 2023, and I just don't think I think the fever dream with Matt McLain is over. I don't think he's a very good player. And then really no other major league level players played from second base. Eugenio Suarez, 157 games, power was way down. Average was up. He was a different player. Walked a lot more, still struck out a lot, but he made contact with the baseball more, but just not hard contact. You saw him just, 778 OPS. Really big power guy. But you saw that kind of dip. The power against righties goes down by 5. And he goes down 1 rating. He was still a good player, though. Elly De La Cruz was an all-star. and rightfully so. 25 homers, 50 stolen bases, 847 OPS with a 6.2 WAR. That will play. That will certainly play. Won himself a Silver Slugger. Garrett Hampson made the majors, played a little bit. I don't really think that matters per se. JJ Bleday out in left field. 70 games, rough season. 564 OPS, -1 WAR. These Reds were really led by their pitching. You had guys like Dane Myers and JJ Bleday splitting in left field, both with negative WAR, both sub 600 OPSs. TJ Friedl played half the year in center field. Positive WAR. He's always a good defensive guy. Was a 4-win player a year ago. 3 years ago, he was a 5-win guy. Like, he's a good defender out there, but not great. Doesn't really do anything else well. Noelvi Marte was awful. 551 OPS. Awful defensively. A -3.2 WAR. The dude has a -5 for his career. What a bust. Good Lord. Will Benson wasn't particularly good either. 670 OPS. You can tell these Reds squeaked into the playoffs off of a bad hitting team and a really good pitching. You got the Brewers, who just missed out on the playoffs. Brandon Woodruff was a dog for you. Finally was healthy for the first time since 2022 and pitched like a Cy Young. He was an all-star, high WAR, good pitcher. Jacob Mizorowski, rough season. Still got that high potential, but a 5.5 ERA to go with a high FIP as well. Quinn Priester, good baseball player. Back-to-back pitching seasons with an ERA around, he was 3.3 and then a 2.7 this year. Higher FIP, doesn't strike out a lot of guys, but he's a good player, limit base runners. Chad Patrick, very 33 starts, 4.50 ERA. FIP, very similar. Kyle Harrison, 5 ERA, not particularly good at anything. And then Brandon Sproat, your long reliever, also bad, 5 ERA. Abner Uribe was not your closer because Trevor McGill went nuts, but he was still a good player. I had a lot of decisions, 10 and 10. 16 holds, 2 saves, 3.36 ERA with a 3.45 FIP, almost a 1 WAR, striking out a ton of guys, walking a ton of guys as well. But Trevor McGill was your closer, and he was elite. 44 saves, had a sub-1 ERA at the break, carried that to a 1.23. FIP was great, struck out a bunch of guys, didn't give up any home runs at all, and got better as well. Aaron Ashby, good reliever. 80 games, 98 innings, an absolute innings eater, and an almost 1 WAR. Jared Koenig, another great player. 82 games, third straight season. Ever since coming to Milwaukee, he's been a lock for a sub-3 ERA. DL Hall, same thing. 77 games, 100 innings. This Milwaukee bullpen was out of this world. Yeah, Justin Wilson here from Milwaukee, a 3.1 ERA, currently injured. Angel Zerpa was bad. 8.30 ERA. On to the batters with catcher William Contreras, career high 30 homers. You know, he started the All-Star game, another All-Star appearance for him, and a career season, 5.7 WAR. He's one of the best catchers in baseball, All-Star and Silver Slugger. He gets those every other year, pretty much. Gary Sanchez back up. Didn't have to do much, but was disappointing when he did do things. He was not very good. Reese McGuire also came up and was not very good. Andrew Vaughn, 147 games, really lost the magic that he had in the second half. Really salvaged an awful season last year with Milwaukee to a below average season, and this year he was right where he left off, kind of averaging it out. Bryce Terang, 89 overall now. Had a comparable offensive year to what he did a year ago, 4-win player. Just replicated everything from last year over at second base. Luis Rengifo, your starting third baseman, not very good. 669 OPS. Used to be a high contact guy. Now he's really a butcher defensively. Can't really do anything well. You look at, did Jesus Made come up? He did not. You look at David Hamilton, 104 games played, a 603 OPS. Always a good base stealer. Always will play around 100 games, give you a really bad OPS. Not great defensively, a negative WAR, but he plays for some bad teams. Got great speed. Joey Ortiz is your starter over at third. Career year with the bat, or at least comparable to what he did 2 years ago, and great with the glove. How about a 3.6 WAR season from Ortiz? You love to see it. Great defensively over at third. Or at short, my fault. Jackson Chourio in left really came into his own. Really kind of supported his identity as a contact hitter. Only 14 homers and around 600 at-bats. But a perfect defender and a near 5-win player from the outfield, winning a Gold Glove. Christian Yelich DH'd behind him, and in 158 games was very good. I think he made an all-star team, if I'm not mistaken. No, he didn't. He didn't make an all-star team, but he was very good. 26 homers, 738 OPS is solid enough. Played some defense for a .7 WAR. Jake Bauers in half a year was Jake Bauers. Did Jake Bauers things. You had Brandon Lockridge come up and put up a 696 OPS. Just kind of being a bench guy. Blake Perkins started the year off really hot. The thing is, he'll never hit for good power. Never hits for good power. Always plays above average defense. He'll get you a 1.5 WAR. Garrett Mitchell. Oh my God, another dreadful season. After a really promising 2024, he's just derailed by injuries. Doesn't have a lot of power. The contact has completely disappeared from him. The defense even has gotten worse, but even though it's still pretty good. Sal Frelick in right field. Yeah, not great. 661 OPS, got hurt, always good defensively, but still a sub-1 WAR guy. Akil Baddoo didn't play, so I don't know why he's here. For the Pirates, the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Skeens on the mound actually didn't make the All-Star game. They had a different representative that they traded at the deadline. We'll talk about him later. But he struck out 250 guys. Even though the ERA had ballooned to a 3, he still had a 6 WAR. The FIP was still in the low 2s. He was just getting a little unlucky with that horrible team around him. Actually struck out more and walked less than he has in any other season. Still not winning any games because the Pirates hate him, but he's so good. Straight 99 overall. Jared Jones, rough season. 5 ERA, rough year back. You hope to chalk it up to the injuries because he was not good. Bubba Chandler showed some promise for sure. Still didn't look great. Mitch Keller was Mitch Keller. He gave you 30 starts, and that's what he does every single season. And he'll give you an ERA around a 4 or a 3.7. Braxton Ashcraft, great season. 2.83 ERA with a FIP around 4. This guy's now had he's had 197 innings at the big league level with an ERA of 2.79 and a WAR of 3.5. Put some respect on his name. Hunter Barco came up and was bad. Jose Urquidy, your long reliever, was not particularly good. Then in the bullpen, you had Gregory Soto was your guy. You thought about shipping him off at the deadline. Ended up finding a better deal for your big-time closer, Dennis Santana. And Soto had a great year, 2.9 ERA. 2-time All-Star, first time with the ERA that low. It was a career season for him. Really coming into his own. Carmen Mlodzinski, 19 saves down the stretch at 3.15 ERA. You put him in that closer role for the future with Soto as your best reliever. You got Luke Little at the deadline, ended up playing in 92 games. You got him as part of the Dennis Santana trade, and he really just showed some bad tools. He's known for his high strikeout rate and high walk rate that is ignored because of his extremely high strikeout rate and didn't really strike out anybody. And he still walked like a guy in inning, looked like an extremely flawed pitcher who might never reach that potential. Isaac Madison, Dauri Moreta, not great to be honest. Mason Montgomery was awful, a 7 ERA in 96 games. Genuinely stunk. This Pirates bullpen was dreadful. And I mean dreadful behind the back of Paul Skeens. The bats, did they get better than last year where they were the worst in baseball? Joey Bart did. 2.7 WAR, good hitter. Andy Rodriguez was an okay backup, but he only played 5 games. Henry Davis got into 9. Omar Alfonso was up for a while because of injuries. He was the guy. O'Hearn was your first baseman. And he did his thing, put up a 765 OPS, 1.8 WAR. Just, he was okay. Spencer Horwitz, 679 OPS. Really fell off offensively. Was very serviceable the 2 years before this year and was a non-factor pretty much, if not worse. You got Christopher Morel at the deadline from the Marlins. He just wasn't very good. A 642 OPS. He's had a negative WAR 4 out of his 5 seasons in the MLB because he's so bad defensively, including a negative 3.4 spot in 2024. Holy cow, that's awful. You had Brandon Lau. Not a great rental. I mean, he did hit you 32 homers, and that probably led the team. But a 741 OPS, a little worse than what he usually gives you, a 1.5 WAR. There's a reason this team wasn't very good. Nick York basically didn't play. Did Tamar Johnson come up? No, he didn't. Jared Triolo was your only third baseman. In 123 games, he gave you very below average hitting with elite defense. That's what he will do for you. He has positional versatility, and he plays great defense wherever you put him. He's not there for the bat at all. Connor Griffin, the 19-year-old, looked really, really good. He won Rookie of the Year, for heaven's sake, at 19. And 17 stolen bases, a 799 OPS, playing okay defense, and a 3.2 WAR. At that young of an age, I mean, he is going to do some crazy good things if he continues to develop like this, because he started as a 73. Now he's up to a 78. He's already getting a lot better than he previously was. Nick Gonzalez kind of slid over to third for a little bit of the time, was basically a non-factor. You can pencil him in as a bust at this point. You traded for Jake Mangum, good contact guy, bad power, great stealing bases, and he was a sub-1 WAR guy. I don't know what he did for this roster necessarily. Certainly didn't help him win games. Oneil Cruz, just another disappointing year. This was awful. The Oneil Cruz hype train has disappeared. He can't hit for contact, and he hit for less than 10 home runs last year. His thing is hitting the ball hard and far. He didn't do it. Improved mightily defensively. This guy was one of the worst defenders in baseball 2 years ago. At shortstop, now that he's in center field, he was a great defender. But, oh my God, he's still not worth running out in your lineup, and he is definitely not the guy they need to be building this team around. Jack Sawinski, I'll always remember that year he hit 26 bombs and nearly had a 5 WAR, but this year's not that season. Just was not very good. Not a very good baseball man, per se. Anymore, at least. That 2022 season or whatever will always be remembered for what it was, but he is just not an everyday player. He probably isn't even a major league player anymore. Brian Reynolds was Brian Reynolds. Hit 28 bombs. That was second on the team. 785 OPS and a negative WAR because he was awful defensively, but he hit above average. I still don't know if he's worth that contract. 13.3 is kind of worth it, but for as long as he's going to be around, I don't think it was a good pay for the Pirates, and they're going to be stuck with him. For the Cardinals, Kyle Lay, 2-14 pitching record. You forget this team sucked. The transition to the rotation, he was very average. Matthew Liberatore did the same thing he did last year, extremely average. The FIP went down, so the WAR was bad. Michael McGreevy, the top ERA we've seen so far. Andre Palante was awful because he's just a terrible pitcher. I don't know how they keep running this guy out there. Erangelos Sainja, the switch pitcher, they got in a trade with the Mariners for Brendan Donovan, and he comes up and looked really bad. He looked really, really bad. Hunter Dobbins was nothing special. Ricardo Fitz was not special. And then nobody else came up. except for Emerson Hancock here, played in 13 innings. He was part of the Dustin May trade, who they got rid of at the deadline. Relief pitchers, you sign Ryan Burr after spring training, and he ends up being a great piece for you. Hadn't pitched since 2024, but he did pitch well. He had a career season, 71 games, a 3.21 ERA. The FIP was even better. Riley O'Brien really fell off a cliff. He was really good last year, competed for a closing role this year, and just was bad in every way. You traded for Jake. Oh my God. Jake Cousins. Good Jesus. I think he was part of the Dustin May trade as well. You got him back from the Mariners, and you had an 8 ERA. It was like a 9.52 ERA with a -2 WAR and a 7 FIP, walking over a guy per inning, is genuinely the worst MLB The Show season I've ever seen. I don't know how a guy with 96 hits per nine against both sides and 88 clutch could possibly be this awful, but he was. Moving on, Gordon Graceffo, 59 appearances, much better than last year. Was awful. Actually, he was awful with good FIP, and this year he was okay with a not so great FIP. So we have no idea how good he is. Obi Milner, 72 outings, a 4.6 ERA. I don't know if he ever sees the majors again. You had that 2023 season where he was elite, but you've never had another year like that. Zach Thompson, 9 outings. I think they have one more player who played. Yeah, Ryan Stanek, 10 outings. His best years are behind him, for sure. Closing, you had Matt Swanson, who was not an all-star. I forget who their all-star was, but it wasn't him. 37 saves. Not as good as last year, really at all. It still had a good FIP, still struck out guys, but just like 3.7 ERA reliever. I don't know what to say. Ivan Herrera was your all-star. He played in 160 games as a catcher DH guy, mainly a DH, 3.5 WAR. Very good. 30 bombs, 264 average, extremely good. Pedro Pages, not great. 635 did the exact same thing he did last year in every facet of his game. Yoel Pozo, very bad. Very, very bad. First baseman, you had Alec Burleson, who had a rough season. A 642 OPS. He was your best offensive guy last year. Put up a negative WAR. Genuinely horrible stuff from Alec Burleson. J.J. Weatherholt, not a great rookie campaign from him. Not even going to lie. 99 games. Put up a 632 OPS. Was really underwhelming. Thomas Sajazi, I'm assuming, was not very good either. Yeah, 1 home run. Barely a positive WAR. Yeesh. Yeesh, this is a stinky team. God, this team is awful. Nolan Gorman. Oh my God. Nolan Gorman, 878 OPS. What in the world? What? Wow. I mean, you look at him, 100 games, 24 bombs, 878 OPS. Extremely good season. Reminding you of the Nolan Gorman of old. Yeah, he turned back the clock. Still playing awful defense with a 1.8 WAR. And by turn back the clock, the dude is 25. Like, when we saw that promise in him, he was 22. Like, he was genuinely shaping up to be a great player before he fell off. You signed Ramon Urias, ended up being okay. I mean, a 656 OPS, a -4. Like, what really are you going to get out of Ramon Urias in the big 2026? Not really sure. Mason Wynn, a 605, only 4 homers. God, he was awful. Oh my goodness, he was horrible. Plays great defense. He's elite defensively, but he just can't do anything else. Insane arm strength in the infield. Could not do anything else to save his life. This season, especially. Lars Nootbaar, known Japan legend. 743 OPS. Bad defensively, though. so he really was a non-factor. You also had Tommy Pham, who I know was up for a lot of the year, 97 games, really bad, 590 OPS, -2 WAR. This guy is done in Major League Baseball. He's never going to play a game again. He's going to be 40 next year. Victor Scott, just another offensive nightmare, 552 OPS. What are these hitting seasons? He's so great defensively. He's amazing, but oh my God, he was horrible with the bat. Nathan Church, I don't even want to look at this. I don't even want to know. Randall Grichuk, another guy who had a reunion with the Cardinals. They went on a signing spree after spring training because I made them do it because they were awful, and they were still horrible. Randall Grichuk got injured and was genuinely dreadful before. He has to come back for another year. Jordan Walker returned to his rookie form with a 798 OPS. He wasn't a negative WAR player for the first time in a minute. He's still awful defensively, and I don't really know what he will do well in the future. But, I mean, we'll see. We will see. Taking a look at the Diamondbacks. Corbin Burnes, great pitcher. Oh my God, he was so back this year. A sub-3 ERA almost every year. People forget about this guy in real life, but he's genuinely so good. FIP was good. WAR was good. You had Zach Gallen in a contract year do some good things. Like, this Diamondbacks team is good. They got plagued by some injuries, but they were going to be, like, we had penciled this team in to be a bunch of sellers, and they were not. So we'll take it. Ryan Nelson, not as good as a year ago, but still a serviceable pitcher here in the middle of your rotation. Merrill Kelly keeps doing it. Like, he keeps playing good baseball into his high 30s. At age 37, he gave him a 3.26 ERA and a 3 WAR. Good FIP. Brandon Pfaadt was not good. It's been the Brandon Pfaadt experience. He had a good FIP that one year. They paid him a long-term contract, and he has just never been good. Like, if you told somebody he had a career year with a 4.63 ERA, giving up a ton of hits, walking everybody, giving up a lot of home runs, he's always better FIP, but he just is never a truly good player. Erod is another extremely overpaid guy. ERA over 5 for the third straight year. Was pushing 6, and he still is making $40 million before this team can get rid of him. Oh my God. Gilbert Diaz came up for a second, but that was it. Then you go to the bullpen. You had A.J. Minter come over from the Mets, a 2.93 ERA, 3.15 FIP, good player. A.J. Puck, great season back. Got injured in 2025. Good year in 2026. Andrew Saalfrank was good in 2026. Taylor Clark, 1.46 ERA. Oh, man. This guy was nasty in his first year back with Arizona, making a return. He looked great. Cade Stroud, this bullpen is what carried this team. Kevin Ginkel wasn't great. Derek Law was pretty good. And then you get to the minor leaguers. Closing games was Justin Martinez. He got hurt, so he only played 44 games, but he saved 26 of them, a 2.4 ERA. Strikeouts were down, but the home runs, he still doesn't give up any. He's on a long-term, extremely team-friendly deal. This is a long-term closer you've got right here on your hands. I think he could be a great player. Catcher Gabriel Moreno. What did he do? He was very good. 13 homers, 759 OPS, a 4.5 WAR. He's always very, very good defensively, if not elite. ADC was nothing crazy. James McCann, 35 games, pencil him in for a 750 OPS, just like he had last year. First base, you had Pavin Smith. That's actually your DH. And he was a career year for Pavin Smith. 867 OPS, 30 homers. The dude hit 3 in one game, but his career high was 11 in a season. This was a breakout for Pavin Smith. From the DH spot, he only played 80 innings of defense, but much better than his overall suggested. Ketel Marte was a freak show. 29 homers, 91 RBIs, 874 OPS, A WAR of over 5 for the fourth straight season. He's an all-star, great player. Tim Tawa, good prospect. I don't know what else to say. Nolan Arenado at third, and I think it might just be time. I think the Nolan Arenado fun ended a long time ago. The fact that he's only 34 scares me, but in 143 games, this dude used to pop 40 home runs and 130 RBIs in that time. Now, 9 homers, a 619 OPS, a WAR barely positive, held together by his good defense. He's going to make $32.5 million whether you play him or not next season. Ildemaro Vargas was your first baseman for a lot of the year. I mean, what do you expect when you throw Ildemaro Vargas out there every day? It's just not what you're not going to be impressive. You're not going to get the results you want. Geraldo Perdomo tore his ACL, only played 19 games, really a ruined season from the guy. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. Had a near 6 WAR a year ago, but this year was ruined. Jordan Lawler had a chance to step up, and he still just looked awful, terrible defensively. Lots of problems with Jordan Lawler. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 22 homers. I feel like the dude always plays around 140 games and has an OPS somewhere in the low to mid sevens. Very just average to slightly above average player. Jorge Barosa and Alec Thomas were just a pair of knuckleheads out in center field. Thomas doesn't even play good defense like he used to. Barosa does a good job, but he hits worse. Corbin Carroll was the real freak show of this team. 14 triples. He's had double-digit every year. 46 doubles, 38 homers, 117 RBIs, 36 stolen bases, a 1075 OPS, and a 10.8 WAR. I'm not even going to look at the awards because I know he won some. This guy carried this team, Corbin Carroll. Not to mention he hit 344. Good Lord, after hitting 259 and 231 the 2 years before, 334. Looking at the Rockies, oh my God, the pitching is always just Rockies pitching. Michael Lorenzen came here to die. Kyle Freeland has been here, and he has been dying for now 8 years. Tomoyuki Sugano came over here and was okay, a 4 ERA, a 4 FIP, better than he was last year in Baltimore. Chase Dolander was bad again, and he's a good prospect, but he's just bad. Patrick Corbin came back and did Patrick Corbin things, put up a 5 ERA. He wouldn't be in anyone else's rotation. I think the career is over. Ryan Feltner was not okay, but not great. Jose Quintana came over and was bad. I think the Rockies are just in an awful spot with the pitching perpetually. Victor Vodnik saved 16 games. But then you sign he was bad. You signed Jalen Beeks, he was bad. You had Brendan Bernardiro, who was really good out of the bullpen. He was one of your bright spots. Put up a 2.2 ERA. Juan Mejia, 84 games, was pretty awful. Keegan Thompson was hideously bad. Jaden Hill was hideously bad. And you get to all these bad relievers. Paul Sewald came up for a bit. Right, he was up all season. 4 ERA was not good at all. Closing games, you had Jimmy Herget, 7 saves. Yeesh is all I'm going to say. This team is bad. Catching was Hunter Goodman, took a step back offensively. Still average defensively. First baseman was Donovan Solano. And he actually had a great year. I don't think the dude will ever play baseball again because he's 38, but he had a great year in Colorado. Second baseman, Tyler Freeman, was not good. Third base, you had Willie Castro, who was solid. 721 OPS, 1.8 WAR. I mean, for a Rockies player, that's great. Ezekiel Tovar, sub-10 home runs. He popped 26 back in 2024. He had a ton of extra base hits, but he just has not gotten back to that form at all. 700 OPS, still puts up, he's not even a good defender anymore. Or he is, but he just wasn't as good. Um, Left field, you had Jordan Beck, 617 OPS. You're sending this guy out for near all 162, and he puts up a -3 WAR. Jesus, this team. Brenton Doyle is here. Tripled 10 times, 707 OPS. Plays great defense. That's about all I can say about him. Mickey Moniak was your all-star. Popped 30 home runs, 92 RBIs, 798 OPS. I mean, the dude did something. He did something for you. And you really can't say that about anybody else on this roster, almost. Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers were very good. You saw him win, 113 games. Pitched 26 times, 128 innings, 127 Ks. Good ERA, good everything else. But the bat is still what he's known for, and it's still what he's winning things for. 1,000 OPS for the 4th straight season. And he put up a 6 WAR with the bat, a 2 WAR with the arm. Yeah, that'll put you at an 8.2 overall. That is genuinely insane. You had Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 27 starts, a 2.4 ERA, a great FIP, great everything. Didn't strike out as many guys, but he walked less. Blake Snell struck out a ton of guys. ERA in the high 2s. High WAR, didn't give up any homers. 2.3 FIP was so low. Tyler Glasnow won 18 games. This is what, you're down to your number 4, man? And this is what you still are throwing out there? Emmett Sheehan was an all-star, for heaven's sake. He won 18 games. This might be the greatest rotation in the history of baseball. Emmett Sheehan is your 5. Gavin Stone is your 6. Your 6 man had a sub-3 ERA and a high 2 over 2 WAR. This team was insane. And the bullpen got better. Brian Abreu had an ERA in the 6s when he got traded to Los Angeles. He was amazing for them. Really turned it up a notch. Alex Vesia, 39 holds, a 1.5 ERA. Great year for him. Jack Dreyer was here with a 1.7. Bruce Dark Gratterall with a sub-3. I have yet to see a pitcher with an ERA above 3 that played with the Dodgers for a full year. Evan Phillips. Okay, Tanner Scott was bad. Looking like a terrible contract, by the way, but he's not even on the playoff roster. Roki didn't play. Brock Stewart came up, and Brock Stewart played. Brock Stewart was a great pitcher. 63 games, 2.5 ERA. My goodness. And then the man running it all at the back of the bullpen, Edwin Diaz, a sub-2 ERA for the 3rd time in his last 4 years. Obviously missed a full season one of those years. 51 saves to put him over 300 for his career. Strikeouts were down, but they were still so high. Walks were up, but he gave up a career low in home runs. FIP was still amazing. And then you go over to the batting, and you had Will Smith. A down year at a 779 OPS, but that's really what he was doing before that breakout last year. Still had a 3.5 WAR. I believe he didn't make the All-Star team. Dalton Rushing was rough. I think he might be a bust. We've seen 2 straight years. We've seen 103 games of 548 OPS Dalton Rushing, and I don't think I ever want to see it again. Freddie is going to be out for the playoffs, but in 71 games, the dude still put up an 880 OPS. He still had a 2 WAR, and at 36 years old, he was still playing well. Tommy Edman, 685 OPS, high WAR at 2.4 because of his good defense. Hyun-Sung Kim, 53 games, meh. Max Muncy is over there at the hot corner playing good baseball. 23 homers, 848 OPS, and a 2.3 WAR. I'll take that from Max Muncy as my 3rd baseman. Mookie Betts is my shortstop. A rough year. This is his 2nd straight really disappointing year offensively. He's really come into his own defensively. Like, he is now a good defensive shortstop. We couldn't say that about him when he first came to the position. Oh my God, Miguel Rojas was horrible. This Dodgers team was elite because of their pitching, not their hitting. But you still had so many pieces, like Teoscar Hernandez drove in 100. What is that, 109 runs? Stole a career high 15 bases, 801 OPS. Bad defensively, but still there. Andy Pagas was insane at the All-Star break. Hit 33 bombs, 110 ribbies, 904 OPS to go with a 6.7 WAR. Got himself a Silver Slugger. Andy Pagas became a superstar. Like the Dodgers needed another one of those. They got one here with Kyle Tucker. 849 OPS. Was awful defensively, though. The defense really just fell off a cliff. He was a former Gold Glover, and he just wasn't that anymore. For the Padres, Nick Pivetta had a rough year. Supposed to be your ace, really fell off. 4-13 pitching record, fifth in ERA in the high fours. Same thing with Michael King. Fifth was still in the threes, but high 4 ERA. Joe Musgrove was still good. Will Warren came over from the Yankees at the deadline. I think he'll become a really good player. You also got Jackson Jobe from the Tigers. You had Griffin Canning, who was awful. Randy Vasquez was awful. Herman Marquez came up and was solid out of the bullpen, I guess. Alex Cobb, so many old guys. Cobb started the whole year, was okay. Darvish started the whole year, was solid. And then you finally get to the minor leaguers. Closing games was, of course, Mason Miller. Saved 39 of them. Strikeouts were way down. Walks were still there. The FIP skyrocketed. I mean, obviously the ERA was amazing, but the FIP just had you kind of scratching your head. But he's still one of the 3 to 5 best relievers in baseball. Jeremiah Estrada had a rough year. Dave Morgan wasn't good. Yuki Matsui. Right? Like, this bullpen just was not very good. You had Tim Hill come over and play well. But yeah, this bullpen just wasn't a great group. The catching duties, Freddie Fermin got hurt. Thayron Liranzo. The catcher was just a nightmare. Campusano was bad. Duran came up and was bad. Ethan Salas came up and was bad at 19 years old. I think. Yeah, he's 19. Did Blake Hunt come up? No, he didn't. That's just what the thing is fooling. Gavin Sheets and Ty France split at first base. Ty France only played 10 games, never mind. Gavin Sheets was a negative WAR player. Jake Cronenworth was your second baseman. He did Jake Cronenworth things with a 725 OPS and a mid-2 WAR. He didn't make an all-star team, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. It seemed like he always sneaks in there. Manny Machado had an identical year to what he did last year. 27 homers, high RBIs. A butcher defensively now, which you hate to see because he was once so great. Xander Bogaerts was very serviceable offensively. Put up 4.7 WAR, for crying out loud. That was his best season since his first year with the Padres. Great year for Bogaerts. You love to see it from him. Ramon Laureano was a guy they thought about dealing at the deadline, ended up keeping, and was basically a non-factor. Miguel Andujar was your DH. And yeah, negative WAR. Jackson Merrill up to a 90 in the outfield. Had a great year, 28 homers, a career high, stole 15 bases. Put up 5.8 WAR out there in the outfield for Jackson Merrill. Very, very good season. Then you had Fernando do his thing. 920 OPS, 28 homers, 22 steals, 7.3 WAR. Hello, in 142 games because of that Gold Glove season that he had. Playing great defense. Nick Castellanos was also a DH in the mix. Backup first base kind of guy. Negative WAR. He was awful. You look at the Giants, they had Logan Webb doing Logan Webb things, man. Just doing the damn thing. 4.7 WAR, sub-3 FIP like every year. You have to go back to 2020 to find the last time this guy didn't have a sub-3 FIP. Oh my God, that's insane. Robbie Ray is here. Because of course he is. He was good. He was very solid. Tyler Mahle is here, and he was solid in 33 starts. Adrian Hauser was okay. Landon Rupp was pretty good. And then Trevor McDonald was awful. Carson Weisenhunt was not good. Get into all the minor leaguers, relievers. Okay year from Ryan Walker. A lot of holds, better FIP than ERA. Okay year for Jason Foley. Actually, decent year. Jose Butto was awful. Sam Hentges was good. Eric Miller was good. Hayden Birdsong was horrible as your long guy. And then running the show, closing things, you had all-star Randy Rodriguez, 38 saves. Strikeouts were way down, but he didn't walk anybody, didn't give up any home runs, and the FIP was better than the ERA, so he's still pretty good. Patrick Bailey is an elite defender, and he had a good year with the bat. 4 WAR, because the 705 OPS, I mean, yeah, that'll make him one of the best catchers in baseball. Rafi Big Scoops, 28 homers for Devers, 841 OPS. Awful defensively. Good God, he's horrible. But he's up to the 91 overall. Luis Arias played in 161 games. -2 WAR because he too is awful defensively. Bryce Eldridge, how about the rookie? And in 93 games, he didn't fare so well. He's a career -2 win player now. Okay. Tyler Fitzgerald was the main second baseman. He's never played over 100 games, and he has now been bad for his last, negative WAR over his last 200. Matt Chapman, 738 OPS. I mean, it's okay. It's just okay. Made an all-star team, but that's about it. Willy Adames up in the overall. 30 bombs for the 3rd straight season. I feel like he's always just hitting 30 homers, getting a 2 WAR. Elliot Ramos out there in left had a bad year. And he was a negative win player by a lot. Harrison Bader dealing with some injuries right now, but was serviceable, put up 3 WAR because he's got that great defense out in center. Awful defense from Jung-Hoo Lee, I'm sure, but at least he had a good year hitting. Yeah, terrible defensively. Yeah, you're going to look at the Orioles. I think I'm going to look at the Orioles, and then I'm going to be done and just look at the league leaders. Trevor Rogers was great. He started the All-Star game. Was insanely good. Oh my God, 16 wins, 2.3 ERA. He's turned his career around. Kyle Bradish, 4.2. FIP was under 4, but a rough year. Shane Baz was awful, 6 ERA. Terrible trade. Dean Kremer was very good, sub-3 ERA. Best year of his career for sure. Cade Povich was solid. Zach Eflin was awful again. Back-to-back terrible years. Chris Bassett was bad. Tyler Wells was pretty bad. Out of the bullpen, Ryan Helsley was dreadful. This guy's fallen off a cliff. He used to literally won a Reliever of the Year award, I think. Yeah, he did. This guy was amazing as a pitcher for some, oh my God, for a 3-year stretch. This guy was possibly a top 2 to 4 reliever in baseball. Now he was awful. Good gracious. Negative WAR, 5th in the 5s, ERA at 6, nearly 7. Got tagged with 12 losses. Andrew Kittredge was okay. Aiken, Huntscross didn't play. Yeesh. I know Yennier Cano was in the bigs. 88 games. He was awful. He's another guy who used to be great. Felix Bautista is a guy who was not good either. 4.24 ERA. Did save a career-high 43 games, but he just wasn't near as dominant as he was in that Reliever of the Year award season. FIP was in the high 3s. Just wasn't a great player. Was not a great closer. You look at the catchers, Adley Rutschman, 756 OPS, 3 WAR. Samuel Basallo's been really disappointing. He's been really disappointing, folks. He's given us 69 games of 549 OPS, Samuel Basallo. Pete Alonso was in the home run derby, and rightfully so. The dude played in all 162 for the third straight season. Plays every game, doesn't miss a game. 51 homers, 123 RBIs. Had more than that last year. Holy cow, Pete Alonso. Have yourself a season. Jackson Holliday, great year. Great year for Jackson Holliday. Even though he wasn't an all-star, he played similar to one. 23 homers, 70 RBIs, 722 OPS. Was bad defensively, so the WAR was still bad. Hate to see that ruin his season. Jordan Westburg, great year. Had a career year with all the counting stats, great WAR. Gunnar Henderson was obviously a freak show. 34 doubles, 10 triples, 42 homers, 105 RBIs, career high in OPS. 8.2 WAR for Gunnar. That is just out of this world, man. Otherworldly from Gunnar Henderson. Taylor Ward was out in left field, and he hit 30 home runs again. 884 OPS, 4 WAR. Near career season offensively. Colton Cowser was still bad. I mean, he's fallen off a cliff since that one good year. Tyler O'Neill, also another guy who's just not very good at the moment. But yeah, we'll look at the league leaders and the awards now. Batting average in the MLB goes to Carroll, then Ronald Acuna was second. What a year. 37 homers, a 1032 OPS, 5.4 WAR, and a 332 average. Great year. Harper hit 322. 969 OPS with 37 homers. He won the home run derby at a 6 WAR. Josh Naylor hit for great average, man. Great average. Brendan Donovan, good average. Chase Mydroth hit over 300 and was an all-star. Breakout year for him for the White Sox. Vlad hit over 300. Tatis, Bogarts, Bo Bichette. Nick Kurtz was a guy who had an OPS of over 1,000. 49 homers. 7.6 WAR for Mr. Kurtz. That's pretty nuts. Hits was Corbin Carroll in the National League, Josh Naylor in the American. I should have said who won the batting title in each league. Josh Naylor won it in the American League, and Corbin Carroll won it in the National League. So it's the same. Nolan Schanuel with the most at-bats in baseball. Was he a good player? He played in all 162. Put up 1.3 WAR. Meh. Pena hit 50 doubles. Carroll leads the NL with 46. That's rookies. Oops. Triples. Langford and Carroll with 14, leading their own leagues. Alonso leads the AL with 51 bombs. Schwarber leads the NL with 48. He plays all 162 for the second straight year. And yeah, he was a freak show. 48 bombs, 111 ribbies. Giancarlo Stanton hit 47 to put him at exactly 500. Giancarlo Stanton reaches the unreachable 500 home run mark off of a 47 home run age 36 season. Not what I had on my bingo card. Alvarez hits 40. Henderson. I want to talk about Aaron Judge because he was good. 969 OPS. He was amazing. One of the best players in baseball. But he wasn't the best hitter. And it was the first time in a long time that had been the case for Judge. Marcell Ozuna from the Pirates. Played in all 162 after getting traded to the Marlins. Had a great year. 864 OPS as a 75 overall. Didn't play an inning of defense, but he was still good. Rookies, Munetaka Murakami led all MLB rookies in homers with 20. I want to see who led the rookie. Oh, Zach Cole. What the heck? 5 triples. Good for him. Leading the rookies in batting average, or in batting, well, we'll see. Where were we? We were at runs batted in. Pete Alonso leads the American League, Carroll in the National. Runs, Ronald Acuna, and then Gunnar Henderson in the American. 50 steals for Ellie De La Cruz, 40 for Jose Ramirez, who turned it back up in the second half, stole 40 bases for the third straight year, 5.6 WAR, really looked himself again. Chandler Simpson stole 36 bases. He's really good at doing that. 100 walks for Nick Kurtz led his league. Rafael Devers led the NL. And Juan Soto was up there as well, as he usually is, playing good baseball. Mike Trout. Good year for Mike Trout. He's still playing. Still doing the thing. 433 for his career home run total. You could see him reach 500. On base was Carroll, who led everything at this point, then Nick Kurtz. Slug was Carroll, then Corey Seager. OPS was Carroll, and then Nick Kurtz. Moving on to the pitching. In the American League, wins was Tariq Skubal, who might have just won his third straight Cy Young. He struck out a career-high 242. FIP was good. WAR was good. Everything you want. Leading the NL was a tie between the two Dodgers, Sheehan and Glasnow. Rookies went to Tatsuya Imai from the Astros. Was the most wins for a rookie. MLB most saves, Emilio Pagan, then Kenley Jansen from the Tigers, actually. Bad ERA, but very good save count. 52 puts him at 528 for his career. What is happening? 528 for the career is nuts. Fairbanks with 50, Jax with 50, Diaz with 50. Everybody was really good. Aroldis Chapman. Holy cow, what a year for Chapman. 1.88 ERA, 1.75 FIP. That's 2 straight years with the sub-2 for both. What in the world? Tyler Rogers saved 43 games for the Blue Jays. Justin Sterner saved 39 for the A's. 5 ERA, though, was not very good. ERA, Trevor Rogers gets the title in the American. It's Brandon Woodruff in the National. Shutouts. These are all the guys who had shutouts. Strikeouts, it's Skeens in the AL, Skubal in the NL, then Hunter Green, Brian Wu, Garrett Crochet, Logan Webb, Mackenzie Gore, and then Christopher Sanchez and Framber Valdez tie up there. Innings goes to Wu in the American League, and in the National League, it's Burns. Whip, best one was in the American League, was Garrett Crochet. In the National League, it was Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Pitching WAR in the AL went to also Garrett Crochet, who went nuts, by the way. 6.8 WAR, great FIP. In the NL, it was Skeens. Obviously, we talked about him with that higher ERA, but still dominant. Christopher Sanchez was dominant. Bailey Ober got hurt, but was still great. I don't know why I'm looking at him. Batting WAR was Carroll in the NL and Gunnar and Seager in the AL. Seager was extremely good. Very, literally MVP worthy almost. Yeah, great player. The current top prospects in baseball are Jesus Made, Ethan Holiday, Leo DeVries, Sebastian Wolcott, and Colt Emerson. But here's the moment you all been waiting for, the awards. Now here, Pete Alonso, I love you, bro, but you didn't win the MVP. You didn't win the MVP with the 2.2 WAR. I think Nick Kurtz is the rightful winner of the MVP. So, being the guy who controls the MLB, Nick Kurtz is your MVP. NL, it's Corbin Carroll. Cy Young, Christopher Sanchez, and Tariq Skubal. Batting title, Alejandro Kirk. Did not show up, but he won the batting title. I don't know how, but a 7.4 WAR for him. I don't know why he wasn't showing earlier, but he wins the batting title. Corbin Carroll. Reliever of the year in the American League goes to Pete Fairbanks. Or not the American League, this is the National. Pete Fairbanks, good for him. And then Aroldis Chapman, of course. Rookie of the year in the AL is Carter Jensen. 816 OPS, 3.3 WAR in the NL. We know it was Connor Griffin. Hank Aaron goes to Carroll and Kurtz. Gold Glove, Fried wins another. Steele, Stevenson and Raleigh. Walker and Olson. Semien and Clement. Young and Vientos. Mark Vientos winning a Gold Glove. What is happening? How on earth did he do that? He is an absolute butcher defensively. Jimenez and Lindor, and then Churio and Bellinger gets one. Varsho wins one for the Blue Jays, not getting dealt at the deadline. Amidst the fire cell, Dubon wins one with the Braves, and then Tatis and Wilyer Abreu as are your usual guys who get it pretty much every year. I think for the Platinum Glove, they don't have it here, but I would give it to Tatis in the National League and in the American League. American League, I would probably give it to Dalton Varsho. No, I think I'd give it to Cal Raleigh in the American League. I think Cal Raleigh gets in the American. Silver Sluggers, DH is Schwarber and Pete. Catchers is Raleigh and Contreras. Harper and Kurtz. Weidroth and Marte. Machado wins his third straight. Ramirez wins what's probably his millionth straight. Gunnar Henderson and Ellie De La Cruz. And then Corbin Carroll, Ronald Acuna, Andy Pagas with Taylor Ward, Aaron Judge, Jordan Alvarez. All right. I think it is time to go to the World Series and see who won it. The Red Sox are moving on. So it's Los Angeles and Philly on one side. That's kind of what we expected. Yeah, that's what we expected from the NL. From the AL, it could really be anybody. I think Boston could be a team to come out on top here. It's the Mariners. First two. Now it's Sonny Gray against Brian Wu. The Red Sox win. Then the Mariners win. Then the Mariners win again, facing elimination. It's Ranger Suarez. The Red Sox win. The Dodgers will be making the World Series. A Game 7, and the Mariners are in the World Series. We will go to Los Angeles. Can the Dodgers three-peat, folks? Game 1, it's Ohtani and Gilbert, and the Dodgers get the win. Game 2, Yamamoto and Kirby. The Dodgers win again. Snell and Wu. The Dodgers lose. Then you're still in Seattle for Glasnow and Gilbert. They get the win. And now, facing elimination. We will enter the game. Shohei Ohtani taking the bump. Freddie Freeman is hurt, by the way. This is not the complete, perfect Dodgers team. But we're in the World Series.
We're here in Seattle.
Okay, time to turn off the commentary, because that's my job. Commentary. Get that out of here. We're in the World Series. Mariners down 3-1, facing elimination. Luis Castillo pitching. We'll do this first batter of Ohtani, then we'll go into the sim. Ohtani swings and drives it. It's going to be foul. 1-2 count. Shohei hitting .349 on the postseason. And he goes opposite field. Ohtani starts Game 5 with a bomb. .439, a leadoff home run. And we'll see what happens. We'll go to the 5th inning. Ohtani getting outs. Castillo seeming to settle in as well. What is going to happen? Will Smith solo home run makes it 2-0. The Mariners can't get anything going either. Shohei Ohtani still rolling. Julio Rodriguez gets a homer. We'll go to the 7th inning. 2-run homer for Ohtani. He's got 2 homers and he's still pitching. 4-1 Dodgers. A Mookie Betts homer makes it 6. go to the 8th inning.
That's ball 4.
Jojo Romero, a deadline acquisition pitching for the Mariners. Ohtani goes into the 7th pitching. But the Mariners rock Jack Dreyer, and then they rock Brian Abreu. They're now within 2. Jose Ferrer comes in to pitch to the Dodgers. Grand slam, Mookie Betts. It's 10-4. Now bottom half of the 8th. Abreu still pitching. Brusdar Graterol comes in. The Mariners are done. Bryce Miller pitching for the Mariners now. They get him 1, 2, 3. Team select. We're now going to play for the Mariners. Ref Snyder batting. Graterol is the pitcher. I know how to do this. I've played the game. There's a strike. Ref Snyder down in the count 1-2. If the Dodgers can hold here with a 6-run lead, they win their 3rd straight World Series. Ref Snyder, a grounder to short. Betts scoops it up. Fires to first in time. The 9th hitter is Cole Young. Does he stay in or do they pinch hit? Young up against a righty pitcher. He is a good hitter against him. But I think Randy Arozarena might be more built for the moment. They're going to go to the veteran to try and turn over the lineup hard with just 1 out. Arozarena, we know his playoff heroics, especially against the Dodgers. He's one of the greatest, had probably the greatest postseason performance of all time. And this year, he's doing a similar thing. He's batting .400. My question is, why wasn't he in the lineup tonight in a game where you're facing elimination? Arozarena walks. It'll bring up J.P. Crawford. I can't see the Dodgers bullpen. But you got to think if Edwin Diaz is rested, he's a guy who can come in. Here's Crawford, 1 for 4. It's this one sharply hit. First base, 1 and 2. The Dodgers win their 3rd straight. This is a dynasty, folks. And we are not going to see it stop anytime soon. The Mariners can't stop them. The Dodgers win again. Los Angeles has their 3rd consecutive World Series trophy. Mookie Betts with 2 home runs, Ohtani with 2 homers, and he goes 6 1/3 pitching. Started the game off with a bang, then started the game off on the mound. What a season to wrap up today. Not Player of the Month. I want awards. The World Series MVP is Shohei Ohtani. The NLCS MVP is Tommy Edman. Wow. What a year, folks. I hope you liked it. I'll be back with the next one, recapping the next season when it's done. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. And if you'd like, please consider subscribing.